Hello, everyone. So today is such a wonderful day. I have such an honorable guest, a friend of mine. We became friend from the mutual doctor friend. We were in wellness center, and the way we are talking, I found that he have some special, unique things um, to share, can share with our audience, and I'm sure every one of you will get benefited from that. So it is my honor that I was able to invite my friend, Mr. Rocky Garcia, MIT. Hey, welcome to my channel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, ever since I met you at that wellness event, I took a liking to you. You really have a way to simplify medical processes and really know how to connect with the client, and I really like that. So I'm very humbled to get a call from you, and I want to thank you because with the invite, I was able to shave.
That's nice to hear. Yeah.
Gave me a reason to clean up a little bit.
Awesome. You look great, man. So, Mr. Garcia, we'll talk today about the diabetes. I know 500 million people around the globe has been suffering this deadly disease. Is it deadly in a sense that it caused that death? People doesn't die directly, but it caused the death. It caused the deadly issues. So today, we're going to share my experience, what I've been practicing with the nutrition, lifestyle, natural medicine, and what your expertise, how we can absorb the nutrition, because diabetes is all about nutritional deficiency. Diabetes is all about energy problem because they don't get the nutrients, they don't absorb that. So I'm glad that our people will know such a wonderful, valuable advice from you. So again, welcome again, and I guess you can start something. You have been practicing for helping people, and I'm glad that we are in the same state, just San Antonio and Houston, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like they say, we're so far, but yet so close, or so close yet so far away, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So
Yeah.
go ahead. Tell me your service, what you've been providing to the community, that your expertise. And I love that how you helping people in the Dallas and the wellness seminar. I love the environment. I love the people. They're so excited. And one thing I got so surprised, they got within 10 seconds, their pain is gone. I was like, I haven't seen that miracle. That, like, the lady was maybe 80 or 70 years old, right?
Yeah.
She was like, boom. I was like, yeah, we need that. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we met. You made the long trip to our wellness event, and I appreciate that. And you got to experience a little bit about what we do. So what we do is basically, I'm the owner and co-founder of accelerated wellness solutions. Okay. I do have a medical background. I'm not an MD doctor, although I wanted to be at one point, until I found a better, faster way to help people in naturally. So I really became a student of the natural wellness, holistic modalities, basically because I have a need. I tell people, people ask me, how did you get into it? Well, my brother-in-law, I had a very sick brother-in-law. He had a liver transplant, a kidney transplant, open cardio window procedure done to his heart, 3 stents in his heart, double hip transplants, double knee transplants, and taking almost 90 pills a day. Okay. 30, 30, and 30. We kept him alive for over 6 years. Oh, and I forgot to mention, he was also on dialysis for 6
Oh, yeah,
years.
for sure, for sure.
So that's major for a human being. So we kept him alive for 6 years, going strong and managing his symptoms and all that through natural wellness, through natural herbs, and eating right, juicing every single day. I mean, he was a walking miracle. Okay.
Mm.
Uh, and again, only when you have a family member in dire need are you going to be passionate about your research. And that's what happened with me. Just researching so much for years on end, I discovered that there's some natural elements that work synergistically with others that enhances the processes and the healing of the body. You know what I mean? So I started noticing some patterns, right, of my brother-in-law getting better and better and better.
Because the blueberries.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, so during that process, it was basically trial and error. You know, we tried some herbs, some vitamins, and some of them would actually work. They work very well. But after a month or two, they stopped working, you know, which was very,
common.
Yeah, it's a big problem. I mean, we thought we found it. We thought we found the combination and it worked, and then it doesn't work. So that was our life, our whole family. I mean, we spent our family money, our family credit, our family savings, trying to keep him alive. And only through the grace of God that we stumbled onto a formula, an actual pattern of natural vitamins that actually work. So long story short, guys, my brother-in-law, they gave him less than 30 days to live at the almost exact moment that we discovered this natural absorption rate formula. And, you know, in our business, we can't say cure or healed, you know, but they gave him less than 30 days to live. They told him, don't even come back, make your arrangements. And at that moment, when we discovered this, 3 weeks later, he was 100% better, 100% better. You know, just, it was miraculous. You know, it's like, so good thing I take very good notes, and I found the formula and we figured it out, and it works. And that was 5 years ago. So knowing this formula of nutritional absorption basically enhances all the knowledge that we have now about nutrition. We know which is the best proteins. We know which is the best, you know, elements, vitamins. We know that. But nobody ever talks about the absorption rate, which was intriguing to me. So after several more years of research, we feel that we figured it out, and we've been doing this for 5 years. We opened up a little office, and we consult people with, how can I put it? My business card, it says we specialize in disease battle planning. So people come to us with any kind of disease, and through our practice, we can figure it out. We can figure out how to best help them increase their absorption rate of the vitamins and minerals, you know. And we've been having great success. We do no advertising, no social media. So I appreciate you inviting me to your show, because every little bit helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. As you said that, actually, a lot of misconception about the, you know, diabetes or many other disease. Just before I go, our audience asking a lot of questions. They have joined from different countries around the globe. I'm so glad to hear that, guys. We'll answer all the questions today as much you could. Please write your question. If you write for earlier, there's a better chance to get the answer back from us. So Mr. Garcia, he's such a wonderful person, and then I know his practice, how successful he is. So he's going to share answers from his own personal experience. So before I go to him again, I want to share my experience. A lot of patients like come to us. They say, Dr. Haque, I have been suffering diabetes for 20 years. I started with a just simple acid reflux medicine. I just started with a simple metformin. Now they're taking 200 units of insulin. That is the very common, and disease is growing and growing. And then and not only diabetes is growing. When diabetes is growing, at the same time, other organs get affected. Their liver system, their kidney, their brain, they develop neuropathy, all type of issue comes up. One thing I found that the key problem in that, because we think diabetes is just, it's a sugar, too much sugar in the body. Come on, too much sugar in the body, this is not the real problem. Why sugar are not being processed? Why so much sugar are flowing throughout the body, they are not being processed? So we need to look at on that part, why body insulin is unable to take the ATP to take the energy into the body cell, into the organ cell. Organs are becoming weak. So that should be our point to focus, that how we can improve, as you said, absorption, at the same time taking the energy, sugar molecule into the energy. So if you can improve that, we don't have to worry about the too much sugar. Hey, people have been taking sugar whole life. Why cancer is now 50%? Why diabetes is now 50% American adult are diabetic? Why 100,000 people in America has to be pre-diabetic or regular diabetic or type 2 diabetic? Is it because we didn't look at the root cause? We didn't look at the underlying issue are going on. Instead, we just focus on the sugar, metformin, insulin. Yes, insulin will bring that, but we don't check the C-peptide. We don't see how much sugar in the body have, how much insulin we have. Instead, we just putting insulin more and more, and that become more insulin resistance. And insulin is a fat hormone. It's a fat developing hormone, and more insulin became more fat. At the end, they get fat. They don't get, as you said, they don't get absorption of the nutrient. They're suffering with the nutrient deficiency. They're suffering with all kind of detox inability. They don't detox their body. The body should be detoxing by its own.
Yeah.
And when you have too much sugar, body doesn't detox. When you have too much sugar, our nerve get injured. Our organ get dysfunction, right? Our elimination doesn't grow. Too much sugar feed the harmful pathogens. So many problems develop, just not understanding, not focusing on the right point, which should be not too much sugar. Why sugar are not being processed? And look at our society. We also did something, change so much that that diabetic become, as I said, 50% American adult are diabetic or pre-diabetic. 100 years ago, or like, early 19th century, diabetes was 0.0023%. These are data I saw early of this century, and now it becoming like a 50% of the diabetic. We don't want that. When you get diabetic, you lose your energy, you lose your focus, you lose your capability, all kind of capability, not only personal, not only all types of capability. So what we did change is a food. We modified food so much, we processed food so much that food is not food anymore. It deformed the structure, but it cannot digest it. How the body can absorb? It's not even food. Because our body is natural. It's not a plastic body. It's a natural body. It has to have a natural enzyme secreted, which will absorb, which will digest the food, and the absorption going to work. So you're not eating the food. We pesticide, herbicide, insecticide our plant-based so much. We put in growth hormone, antibiotic, steroid on our animal sources, and we think, oh, I'm taking vitamin D, organic milk. Come on, where the milk coming from? Milk is not a problem. Milk is from the cow becoming 1,000 pound by what? By steroid injection. That is steroid coming as a growth hormone and antibiotic there, because too much steroid, they need to put antibiotic, and this steroid antibiotic coming to us through the milk. So we don't focus on that part. We focus, oh, it's a vitamin D, it's a pasteurized. Come on, pasteurized is a big problem. We're pasteurizing our fruits, say 100% juice. 100% juice, but it's pasteurized. There's no nutrient in there. You see, we are eating, but we're not eating the right nutrient. We are deficient of nutrient. We are eating the milk, but body say, oh no, I don't like it. Then get lactose intolerance. So I'm lactose intolerance. It's very common. It's not a lactose problem. Its problem is the milk that we have is being processed and modified so much that no enzyme exists. One of the research showing that milk has a 20,000 enzyme. You see how comprehensive things got created, and why we human beings, for our benefit, to make the shelf life, we processed so much. We didn't put any nutrient in there, just calorie, just vitamin D. Vitamin D itself is not enough. It doesn't come with a comprehensive approach, So that is the problem in the society. If you look at the more, our kids, they're getting type 2 diabetes, which I never heard like 10 years ago. Now, type 2 diabetes patient, I get a lot. Not a lot, but I get many. Why?
Absolutely.
Because kids are eating whatever we eat. Like kids are getting fat, whatever the way adults are doing, right? So we need to change the trend to get back to health, to get to society, to make the world better.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I can add to that, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing. Is like the answer is so simple, but yet we still have the problems, right? Because nobody understands how they connect. Okay, so first thing I want to say is about the insulin and the sugar, right? Is that the body is designed perfectly. Okay, the body is strong. The immune system is strong enough to handle everything. It's when the body is not strong enough to handle it, people go to the medications. And the medications, as you said, they don't cure anything. They're just developing a new customer for life, right? So on our end, we figured that out because we did a little bit of research. Have you heard of a doctor that won a Nobel Prize back in 1930s? His name is Dr. Linus Pauling.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Linus Pauling, back in 1930, he won a Nobel Prize, and he quotes, "Nearly all disease can be traced to a nutritional deficiency."
I agree totally.
Nutritional deficiency. And like you said, the fruits and vegetables of today no longer have the nutrition that they had 50 years ago. You know what I mean? So now this is where there's a big shift in the holistic industry, is because everybody knows that fact now. You cannot eat your way to health. It's impossible. Okay? It's literally impossible because we're 10 times depleted of nutrition in the food that we have now. You know what I mean? So that's what got me started in the nutritional, trying to figure it out, the formula, because we were giving my brother-in-law nutrition as best, as pure as we can find it every single day. And we did a good job. We kept him alive for 6 years when he wasn't normally supposed to.
Mr. Garcia,
Yeah.
do you like to share more about it? Like maybe our audience will be happy, our follower will be happy to know what other things you did with your brother-in-law, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. Because like we like to say, there's not one perfect way to combat any disease, because everybody's body's different, right?
Yep.
Age, weight, race, culture, everything has a how can I put, a component that might disrupt the results, right? That's the problem with the holistic industry, is that you might find some vitamins and herbs that actually work, but it doesn't work for every single person, right? So we believe we figured out the right formula of nutrition for my brother-in-law, but 6 years later, it began to fail, even though we did the same thing over and over and over and over. Okay. So that baffled me. I like to, figure out why. If we're dealing with biometrics, I believe we're all the same. We're different in different ways, but superficially, right? Biometrically, we're all the same. So whatever works for one person biometrically should work for anybody else biometrically. So we broke it down to nutrition, to the lowest common, denominator, which is nutrition, which is what the holistic industry is designed. But then it started to fail. So I need to figure out why. So doing the research, finding that research from Dr. Linus Pauling, 1930 Nobel Prize, and you actually read it and dissect that information, it gives us a lot of information. That led me to another doctor called Dr. Otto Warburg. Dr. Otto Warburg, in 1931, he won a Nobel Prize also, and he discovered that no disease, including cancer, can exist in an alkaline environment. In an alkaline environment. I mean, you don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed to know what that means, what he's trying to say. There's no cancer where there's alkaline, which means where there's oxygen. That made a lot of sense to me, because all that we were doing for my brother-in-law is increasing his intake of antioxidants, which equals oxygen, right? So oxygen eliminates acid on contact. Mm-hmm. So I did the research, I connected all the dots that made sense, and that was the secret. For my brother-in-law, it was figuring out that the body the ultimate job of the immune system is to maintain balance of two elements, acid and alkalinity. That's the immune system's job. Among everything else, you break down the processes. That's the ultimate job. Okay, and I will go on record to say this, that the ultimate job of the immune system is to maintain an acid pH level of 7.365 pH. 7.365. You break that down, you ask yourself why, or how does that happen? How can, what happens if the pH of the blood gets a little bit too acidic for too long? You can actually die. If your blood pH gets a little bit too much alkaline for too long, you can also die. So your body, your immune system is fighting all the acids that you're intaking every single second of the day to maintain your body's pH of your blood. When I made that theory, I said, you know what? That's why he's still alive, because he's got diseases and inflammation like you wouldn't believe, but we were combating it with antioxidants. So when I read that research paper, I was like, wow, that makes total sense. So I took the stance of, we need to put more oxygen into the blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Nobel Prize says, where there's oxygen, there's no disease.
Right.
He had liver problems, he had kidney problems, he had organ problems, right? So then I said, okay, well, if I have to repair a liver, how do I do it? First, you dissect the liver. What is the biggest element in all organs? Is water, right? The body is 70-80% water, right? So that's the biggest element. So I need to attack that, figure out. That means if he's sick and dying, that means the water in his organs are very acidic. So I have to figure out a way to put more oxygen in the water in the organs. It's just a theory. Again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor, but I've been through trial and error, right? I've been figuring stuff out that he's a walking miracle. Doctors, specialists tell us to our face, he's a walking miracle. So that tells me that I'm doing something right.
Something miraculous.
Doing something right. And I just kept doing it until it stopped working. That's when it put me into overdrive and try to figure it out. So you can look up how the body drinks water, right? The body drinks water 20% by drinking and 80% by absorption of the skin. Okay. So then my research focused on water. How does the body drink water, and what is he drinking and eating? And then I found out some more research that people that are diabetic, they're not supposed to be eating too much sugar because their organs are failing. They can't process the sugar, but for some odd reason, they crave sugar. I've done many interviews with the clients with diabetes from mild to extreme. I mean, they're pre-amputation status, and they all have a craving for sugar, right? They want the sodas, the teas, the Cokes, the chips, the donuts. They all had them. Again, I'm finding out patterns. So if the body wants sugar, which is acid, which is bad for the organs, why does the body crave sugar? Well, you figure it out. When you have an acidic body, acid loves acid. Acid does not like oxygen or does not like water, because we know in chemistry class, acid and water do not mix, right? So this is very, very state-of-the-art kind of information that I'm reflecting on that makes logical sense. So
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, it is so important to make the body in the alkaline format.
Yes.
Which is the healing mode, which is that really body going to be working, functioning well. And I also see that every patient have unique, in addition to the alkalinity, every patient that have own unique causes. I have been always seeing, which is if I see someone come with diabetes, I don't only think of the energy, I don't only think of the digestion, I don't only think of the hormone. It also I look at the infections. A lot of times they have a severe infection going on, candida or parasite. So they leave a lot of toxicity. As I said, blood become acidic with the toxicity as well. Also, they don't digest food anymore when they have too much candida or any types of parasite have grown. Then they don't digest food properly because they don't release any enzyme to digest the food. And what happened at the long run, they get hormonal imbalance. They don't Their cortisol imbalance, their leptin, which the signal for the eating, or the hunger hormone, ghrelin. So all kind of hormone get imbalanced, and they ended up, they don't sleep properly, they don't eat properly, they don't control their food, because you see, they eat, but they feel lethargic, they feel weak, they don't digest the food, they don't get energy from the food. And some patient I saw, for long run, I see that they have already kidney got affected, you see. So every patient their own root causes. Someone maybe gut flora deficient, you see. So even someone liver dysfunction, liver is the one maintaining the sugar level, releasing or absorbing or storing, right, as a glycogen or a TG, triglyceride. But when when sugar is not being absorbed or holded enough, or we don't balance the sugar intake, so liver doesn't work properly, then they don't control their diabetes anymore, you see. That's another thing we need to focus as well, in addition to what you said. I'm just adding,
Yeah.
alternative, very important, because if these are not taken care of, then the body gonna go to the acidic mode, and they get all the disease, they welcome all the problems.
Yeah, that's it. That's why Dr. Otto Warburg won that Nobel Prize when he discovered that where there's acid, there's disease. When you break down all adult degenerative diseases down to the lowest common denominator, it's acid. Okay, and then we took it a step further when we discovered that, and we tested it on several people. We broke that down even further to the lowest common molecule. The lowest common molecule in all humans is nitric oxide.
Yes.
For those of you listening today, please write this down. Nitric oxide, chemical formulation is NO.
NO, yeah.
N.O. A lot of doctors and naturopaths, they've heard of it, but they don't understand it, right? So if you look up nitric oxide, you'll find out it's the most researched molecule in the world since 1998, when they discovered it and won a Nobel Prize. They won the 4th Nobel Prize in physiology and medicine when they discovered what nitric oxide is and what it does, and simply it maintains, repairs, and defends every cell in the body. So the secret is that we discovered, to simplify the processes, is nitric oxide. If you research that, you'll find out that we are born with high levels of nitric oxide that maintain, repair, and defend every cell in the body, but only to the age of 25 years old. At 25 years old, every year after 25, the body produces less and less nitric oxide, and it drops dramatically, that at the age of 45 years old, you went from 100% nitric oxide to down to 10% nitric oxide at 45 years old. So the older you are, the sicker you are, the less nitric oxide you have. Now, let me just say this, to put that in perspective, how important nitric oxide is, not only to health, but to life. This is a fact in the Nobel Prize. They discovered that the body can live 5 minutes without oxygen. Most of us know that. But most people don't know that the body cannot live 5 seconds without nitric oxide gas in your body. Nitric oxide gas is more than 10 times more important to life and health than oxygen is. That's a big fact right there that nobody's talking about. So we discovered the secret, or should I say, the other half of the formula of total health and wellness is not just pure nutrition. The other half is absorption rate, or nitric oxide production. So without going into too much detail, we just discovered a way to increase the body's natural production of nitric oxide. You know, we can't make any claims here, but wherever you are on the scale, we can help you figure out how to increase the nitric oxide levels. And when you do that, two things happen. When you effectively raise your nitric oxide levels up to 100%, no matter how long it takes, if it takes 30 seconds, a day, or a week, it does two things. One, it's a natural vessel dilator. This is one thing that most people don't know about nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas produced inside the layers of the blood vessels. So inside your blood vessels, it sprays out like 1 or 2 seconds of nitric oxide. If your body has the proper ingredients, nutrition, vitamins, and minerals, the body uses those minerals to produce nitric oxide. This nitric oxide is sprayed inside your blood vessels. Once that happens, it neutralizes the acids in the blood, and it starts to relax your blood vessels, and they open up to 200% wider within 30 seconds. So now you have 200% more blood flow running through your body, right? If you take 4 dramatic deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, you would have effectively taken in 400% more oxygen. 400% more oxygen in the blood, and 200% more blood flow is pushing this oxygen throughout your whole entire circulatory system. And oxygen is the secret. Oxygen eliminates acid on contact. So you break down all adult degenerative diseases, break them all down. It's too much acid in the body. Too much acid messes everything up, from the electrical, from the circulatory, muscular, everything. The secret is oxygen. So that is a secret that I discovered that I'm willing to share with anybody who wants to learn. Okay? We don't have the medical studies to prove it, but I can prove what I know in as little as 10 seconds. In as little as 10 seconds, as you witnessed for yourself at that meeting.
Yeah, I do.
We can effectively turn someone's life around, which we've been doing for 5 years. And I'll tell you this, I have not found one person with a disease or symptom that we cannot help, right? We can't say cure or heal, but we can help them dramatically, better than any drug out there on the market. And all you got to do is have a little bit of faith and try our modalities, try our processes. You know, we're just here to help, and that's the one thing that we discovered that enhances everything else. All the nutrition science, all the vitamin science, the health and wellness. This enhances everything else.
Yes, Mr. Garcia, do you like to share how people can reach you, because you're in San Antonio, right? But
Yes.
we met in Dallas, right, in the wellness seminar.
Yes.
So if people want to, see you to get your miraculous service for, like, what I saw, I really got amazed. You know what I mean? So how people can reach you out?
I would definitely like to see where this relationship or partnership goes between you and me. So if your audience wants to reach out, have them reach out to you.
Okay.
And we can both help them together. You know what I mean?
Sure. So everyone, dear audience, who were very excited to see, Mr. Garcia, sir, he is available. We are working together. We are like a business partner. Definitely reach out to our inbox, then I'll connect you with Mr. Garcia. So, Mr. Garcia, one of the thing I found like amazing results with the food changing, especially who are diabetic patients, like cutting down the refined sugar, controlling the carbohydrate intake, and taking more plant-based carbohydrate, which is like all kinds of plants and vegetables and low glycemic index fruits, cutting down the milk and then potato, like a very high sugar molecule. they get amazing results within a few days. And what I want to share with everyone. The very first few days, like a week or so, you cut down completely carbohydrate. You cut down carb completely. No rice, no potato, no wheat, not any types of milk and corn and dates and honey. Honey, you can take some with a turmeric because that negates the sugar impact of the honey. So if you can cut down all the carbohydrate for a week or so, you dramatically improve your health with the diabetes wise, and you can cut down your the insulin and metformin very quickly and easily. And then after a week or so, when you saw that sugar level become below 100 or around 100, then you can start again going to the healthy carb like a quinoa, millet, buckwheat, sweet potato, and that then it won't go high anymore. So you guys can do that who are suffering with diabetes, and make sure get healthy plant based protein and fat. So animal fat you can take, but temporary you avoid, you'll feel amazing results. But again, you can take animal fat, but grass fed, it has to be grass fed, like grass fed meat, grass fed raw milk, and a grass fed egg, the chicken who grew in the open cage, and then fish which come from the saltwater fish have a much more mineral, and the fish are grown in a farm. They put a lot of steroid and hormone and other. They don't feed the proper food, but naturally they get the right food, in the ocean, in the river or in the pond or in the lake, whatever it is. So if you maintain that, you're gonna feel amazing results. But one thing, Mr. Garcia, I also found, I want to share with everyone that mostly eating, mostly nutrition, as you said, and then not only eating, you have to absorb as well. So you have to fix your infections. If you have some kind of pathogenic infection, you have to support the liver. Otherwise, liver will not hold the glycogen. Then you're gonna fall your sugar when you have not eating sugar, because when you don't eat sugar, liver gonna be releasing the glycogen as a sugar. But if liver sugar is not being absorbed in the liver, you will not able to release the sugar to survive when you are out of sugar. So keep in mind that liver need to be supported, infection need to be clean, and digestion need to be improved, and also hormone need to be balanced, and your elimination, make sure you're eliminating well. Also, as Mr. Garcia, he is very expert on the absorption side. So make sure you body acidity, body pH become alkaline, so that blood are pure. Impure blood, it hurt wherever blood goes to. So you don't want to keep blood impure, you don't want to keep blood acidic. Make sure to eat the plant-based diet temporarily, your blood get alkaline, and you started healing the diabetes with support of others that I said. And Mr. Garcia, yeah, I will go to you. Tell me a little bit more about your experience when you are helping diabetic patient to be feeling better, or to improve.
Well, thank you for that question, because I did want to add a little something, because when people come to us, they're very bad. I mean, they're at their last hope. They gave all their belief to the drug and medication industry, and it failed them. So we're their last hope. The holistic professionals are their last hope, right? So I discovered a way that, and usually by the time they get to us, they don't have a lot of money left, because they spent all their money on medications and specialists and everything else. So I had to figure out a way, what can we help them with that they can do now for free, right? And I discovered something about, when you talk about the nutrition, first of all, the deck is stacked against us. Okay, as we mentioned, the foods, they're so processed. There's minimal nutrition, if anything at all. The fruits and vegetables, even if you grow them in your backyard, because the soil is so damaged, so many chemicals in the ground, there's bare minimum nutrition in the fruits and vegetables of today, even if you grow it in your backyard, right? But this is another pattern that I noticed when I interview my clients, from diabetes to any adult degenerative diseases, is that first, they crave sugar. They're always, you open up the pantry and there's cookies and sodas and you name it. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. So I had to figure something out. We need to put more absorption, right? More absorption of the nutrition. And then I did research on the stomach. Okay. How does the body absorb nutrition? Well, we all know nutrition absorption happens in the gut, right? In the intestines. But that was the key. Sometimes when you eat a lot of food, you feel bloated, right? Your stomach expands. The food is there. You know it's there, and it's not going through, right? I've noticed this with a lot of my patients. They have a big belly because they're always, I'm not going into that detail, but I discovered that the body does not like cold beverages.
Mm-hmm.
When you eat food, you should not be drinking cold beverages. And every single one of my diabetic clients, they have to drink cold water. They don't drink water, they drink cold beverages. But the ones that do try to be healthy and drink water, they drink it cold with ice cubes in it. Okay? That was another pattern that led me down more research and allowed me to realize that the stomach does not like cold beverages. Why? Because the stomach will hold the food in the acids, okay? The stomach acids that can debone a cow in 4 hours, it keeps it in the stomach until the temperature of the liquid raises to 98.5. Once the liquid raises temperature to 98.5, then the stomach allows the nutrition or the food and acid to go through the intestines or the gut. So by drinking cold beverages when you eat, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're dissolving the nutrition in acid extra long. It's staying in your stomach longer and longer and longer, so that by the time the temperature is right, goes to the gut, there's nothing there. That's a big problem. And I've tested this. So, if you have any adult degenerative diseases like diabetes or anything like that, try it. Just try it for 7 days.
Mr. Garcia,
Yeah.
I have a patient schedule today from 1 o'clock. So I guess I have only 7 minutes left. So let's read some questions. People asking you a lot of questions. Especially, I see that the question asking about the artery, and then what is the alternative options, guys. Let me answer this question about the artery clog, blood pressure, heart support. We have a lot of videos. Please follow our videos. That you'll get the answer, because with a short time, I don't think it would be wise to explain. Unless Dr. Garcia, add up something.
Yeah, the thing with aspirin and blood thinners, guys, the purpose of blood thinners is to liquefy the blood right in it, because you have arterial stiffness. The problem is not thick blood. The problem is arterial stiffness. So one of the benefits of raising your nitric oxide levels, it expands your blood vessels. So instantly you have better lower blood pressure. So the problem is arterial stiffness because too much acid in the body, in the blood. Okay, get rid of the acid, and you don't have high blood pressure. You don't need drugs. You need more nitric oxide.
Beautiful. And do we treat cancer? We do not treat cancer. We support the cancerous patient to get rid of any other health problem. Then you won't have a cancer, maybe.
Yeah, and look up, if you have cancer, look up the Nobel Prize by Dr. Otto Warburg, 1931. It's in layman's terms. You will figure it out. Where there's oxygen, there's no cancer. So if you have a cancer, reach out to us, and we can better coach you to get better results.
Yeah. So someone asking for constipation.
Constipation is basically dehydration, if you ask me. Dehydration, and that could be caused by not drinking enough water or drinking the proper water, because drinking bottled water is very acidic. It's the opposite. You need to drink alkaline water, 9.5 pH with an ORP of -400. Write it down, look it up, and there should be locations all over every city that sells high pH and extra low ORP, right? Over that, if you're constipation, that's one of the major side effects of most medications. So this person that's experiencing constipation, for long periods of time, like I said, this is a quick answer, but reach out to us. We definitely would love to speak with you and ask you some proper questions and better help you.
Thank you. So also about the digestion, we have a full live short videos. Follow that. That would be helpful for your digestion, improving.
Yeah, one thing about that, I see on there excessive hair fall. The hair is like the crops on a farm. If the soil has no nutrition, there's no crops. So if you're falling out hair,
I like that.
You have no nutrition.
I like that, Rocky. I like that you said. Yeah, I'm glad.
We got to simplify it. So this person right here needs more nutrition and better absorption rate. So again, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you. Anybody that contacts you, Dr. Haque, I'd be more than happy to do a free consultation. Okay.
Oh, that's so kind of you, man.
Absolutely. We're here to help.
The world is not like that you're talking, that free consultation. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Guys, if you have any question, if you have a major health issue, please reach out to our inbox. I'll connect you guys with Mr. Garcia. So we had a lot of questions, but I have only 3 minutes left for my patient start. So let me get 2 more questions because there is a lot of questions. Please, someone like your answer. He sounds so funny. Anyway, so is it true that thyroid patients should take thyrox daily continuously? Mr. Garcia, I'll go to you.
Well, actually, absolutely. We're not doctors, so we can't. I'm not a doctor, so we can't tell you what not to do. But if a doctor says you should, then you should. What we offer is additional information on holistic, holistic repair. So definitely, I have lots of patients with thyroid problems that come to us. They take up our advice, and before you know it, they're a lot better. And that's all we can say.
Exactly.
That's all we can say online.
If you don't solve the problem, if you keep taking, your doctor will keep giving unless you fix the underlying problem, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, we have. I'm so sorry we are so sorry because our time is over, and hopefully we'll come back to you guys again next weekend. Okay. And until that, you guys take care. Mr. Garcia, says last thing to everyone?
No, just I'm very humble. Thank you for having me on the show. Diabetic subject is a big subject, so I would love to do a follow-up. So anytime you want to have me, I'm available.
We'll continue, guys. Okay, take care, guys. Thank